second law of motion actually it relates between force, mass and acceleration. And there are so many definitions available, but we are approaching in it in a simple way. Consider we are having, so consider it is a vehicle, and this vehicle is having an acceleration say 2 meters per second square, and this vehicle will be having a mass, suppose say mass is 50 kilogram. For a vehicle of 50 kilogram mass to move in an acceleration 2 meters per second square, there should be a force acting on it. Then only we are able to impart an acceleration 2 meters per second square in this particular vehicle. And that force can be found out by using F is equal to ma, where m is the mass of the vehicle, F is the force acting on the vehicle, and that force causes this vehicle to move in an acceleration 2 meters per second square. And that force can be founded by using F is equal to ma, where m is the mass of vehicle, that we know it is 50, and acceleration of vehicle, that is 2, so that we are getting 100. But it have a unit, and that unit of force is Newton. This is actually we are doing it in our classes, but when I was a student I had some doubts. I will speak about a particular thing. Suppose in our physical cases, in our usual cases, we are usually noting the speedometer, and we may see that this vehicle is moving just in a uniform velocity, say 40 meters per second. This vehicle will be having a mass, as in the previous case, say it is 50 kilogram. But it is not that for a vehicle of mass 50 kilogram to move even in this constant velocity means there is no acceleration. Even then we have to apply a force. That means in the ideal case F is equal to ma. The acceleration is 0 here, as velocity is constant. Though in order to move this particular vehicle in this constant velocity, there should not be a force. There is no need of a force. But in actual case, the engine is working and it is imparting a force. We have studied Newton's first law, and that first law states that every body continues to be in its states of rest or uniform motion. Uniform motion means velocity is constant. Velocity is constant. So for the velocity to be constant, the first law states the net external force should be 0. So this particular vehicle can move in a constant velocity only if the total force is 0. But we know engine imparts a force, F is equal to say some 100 Newton. Say engine anyway, in order to move even in this constant velocity, engine should impart a force 100 Newton. That means a force is acting on it. So when we are studying this, a force is acting on it, but velocity is constant. But we should specifically note that first law state the net force should be 0. This is a force which is acting on this particular vehicle, but there is another force called frictional force, which will be exactly opposite to this force 100 Newton, such that the net force is 0, so that this vehicle is able to move in a constant velocity. So the engine is imparting this much force such that the net force acting on this vehicle is 0. So that first law is obeyed and it is able to move in a constant